Hey. No. You can't say that. Hello, everyone. I decided that I wanted to do some Doki Doki Literature Club Plus because, you know, I absolutely love this game. So we're going to do a nice little chill, relaxing stream of Doki Doki Literature Club Plus now that it is out. For those of you who remember, I have already done this once upon a time. Oh, okay. I already did this once, and this has recently been re-released with all new HD and audio and, you know, fun stuff. So we're going to redo it. And I heard there's a lot of side quests now. Hey! I see an annoying girl running towards me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is Sayori, my neighbor, and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. How's it going, Ohana? We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me. Well, from what I can tell, the story is still the same. So, like, if you've watched my other playthrough, then you're already going to know all of the plot twists and spoilers. However, there's apparently some side stories that equal quote-unquote hours of gameplay. And so that, I guess, is what we're going to be discovering. Maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you. Oh, Sayori's so cute. Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something. But you did wait for me after all. Guess you do. Don't have it in you to be mean if you want to. We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. By the way, Silva, have you decided on a club to join yet? It is nice to be live. I haven't been live in a long time, but since this game came out and I really wanted to play it, I figured it'd be something we could all enjoy together. I've told you already, I'm not really interested in joining any clubs. I haven't been looking either. That's not true. You told me you would join a club this year. I'm sure it's possible that I did. One of the many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Sayori likes to worry a little too much about me, when I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. Oh no, it's me. I'm worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. Your happiness is really important to me, you know. And I know you're happy now, but I die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world. A NEET. What's a NEET? Look at a few clubs. No promises. Will you at least promise to try a little? I guess I'll promise you that. Yay! A NEET. I feel like that's, like, essentially someone who doesn't go out and socialize or have a life. Oh! Not in education, employment, or training. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her head. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Oh. Oh no, it's me. I also stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Hello. Sayori? Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize that I'm the only one left in the classroom. I saw you just sitting here and spacing out. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I don't need to wait up for me. It's going to make you late to your own club. Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, know what? Well, that you could come to my club. Sayori. Yeah? There's no way I'm going to your club. Meanie. Sayori is vice president of the literature club. Not that I was ever aware that she had any interest in literature. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be fun to help start a new club. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title vice president. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. I'm going to the anime club. Come on, please. Why do you care so much anyway? Well, I kind of told the club yesterday I would bring in a new member, and Natsuki made cupcakes and everything. And for the record, I know that I pronounce it Natsuki, and that a lot of people pronounce it Natsuki. But I'm pretty sure that by Japanese pronunciation, it's Natsuki. I could be wrong, but that's how I'm pronouncing it, so I'm sorry. And don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead or if she's so cunning as to have planned all this out. I let out a long sigh. Fine, I'll stop by for one cupcake. Yay, let's go. Cupcakes! For the record, that's an easy way of getting me to go somewhere, is being like, hey, there's free food. Or animals. If there's animals, I'll go. And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. New member's here! I told you, don't call me a new member. I glance around the room. Welcome to the Literature Club. It's a pleasure meeting you. So, for the record, Yuri was my favorite when I first started playing this game, just because I always have kind of liked the, timid bookworm type. And I happen to like her hair. It's very pretty. Though I wouldn't be able to say that she's my favorite now. I usually don't get along with tsunderes, which is why Natsuki is probably my least favorite. Not that there's anything wrong with her. I don't know. I don't really like someone who sits there and goes, not that I like you or anything, baka. You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Ah, Silva! What a nice surprise. Honestly, Monica's kind of my favorite since I beat the game. Welcome to the club. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it. Sorry. Natsuki. Girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is the one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student. She is also the one who made cupcakes, according to Sayori. You know, maybe that's why I don't get along with tsunderes, is because I am a tsundere. And two tsunderes really wouldn't get along well at all, because they'd probably stab each other. You can just ignore her when she gets moody. Sayori says quietly into my ear. Oh, I thought she said it out loud, and I was like, oh wow, Sayori's savage. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. This is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Don't say things like that. Oh, she's so cute. Look at her, she's so cute and timid. Aw. Well, I appreciate it, Ohana. Thank you for letting Jen know. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. Well, it's nice to meet both of you. Sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again, Silva. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular girl in class, smart, beautiful, and athletic. Basically, completely out of my league. So having her smile at me is so genuinely feels a little. You too, Monica. Come sit down, Silva. We made room for you at the table, so now you can sit next to me or Monica. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them. I'll get them. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Then how about I make some tea as well? The girls have a few desks arranged in the form of a table. As Sayori mentioned, it's been widened so that there was one space next to Monica and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room where Natsuki grabs a wrapped tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Oh, I thought it was going to give me an option. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Oh! Natsuki lifts the foil of the tray to reveal a dozen white, fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. Little cats! The whiskers are drawn with icing, and little pieces of chocolate were used to make the ears. So cute. Oh, wait. Kawaii desu. I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki. Well, you know. Just hurry and take one. Sayori grabs the first one, then Monica. I follow. It's delicious. Sayori talks with her mouth full and has already managed to get icing on her Oh, no. Oh, no. Am I really Sayori? I wanted to be Monica, but I kind of have a lot of habits like Sayori does, and it makes me a little nervous. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki. Why are you thanking me? It's not like I like you or anything, Baka. Haven't I heard this somewhere before? It's not like I made them for you or anything. Hmm? I thought you technically did. Sayori said, well, maybe. But not for you, you dummy. Oh, does it seriously say Fallout 4 in the corner? Let me fix that real quick. Don't mind me. Do 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 do. We're just gonna fix that real quick. Edit. Doki Doki. Boop. Done. There we go. Okay. I give up on Natsuki's weird logic and dismiss the conversation. Oh, YouTube died? Oh, well, that sucks. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in the classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? Well, I guess. Honestly, so, Shiro, who's one of our, adorkable family members, got me turned on to Yorkshire Gold Tea, which is an English tea, and honestly, I very much like it. I like it with milk and a lot of honey. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me. So what made you consider the literature club? I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed very happy here, so That's okay. Don't be embarrassed. We'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the Literature Club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you a leader of the debate club last year? Well, to be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if I encourage others and to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica is a really great leader. Yuri also nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile, but it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we all really grow in the club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah. We'll do the best. You know it. Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they're all so delighted by the idea of a new member joining. Though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. So, Silva, what kind of things do you like to read? Considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. How's it going, fairy princess? Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me, and telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Hey, me too. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. That's my favorite genre. Yeah, I read a horror book once. I desperately grasp something I can relate in this minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you. I guess you could say that, but if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, why's that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second, and never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? That's very true. When they seem gentle, they're probably harboring a dark secret, especially the quiet ones. You left a piece of scrap paper behind the last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud, and give it back. Fine. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are. Sayori sidles up behind Natsuki and pushes her hands on her shoulders. I'm not cute. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. I can be quiet. I can be quiet as a mouse. A mouse with a knife. An angry mouse. Why don't you share them sometimes? No! Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is written to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for you, Yuri. Oh, I wanted to read everyone's poems. We all sit in silence for a moment. Okay, I have an idea, everyone. Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monica. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. Yeah, let's do it. Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it'll help us get a little bit more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Silva? Monica smiles warmly at me once again. Hold on, there's still one problem. Now that we're back to the original topic of me joining the club, I bluntly come forth and say what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join the club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. All four girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But I'm sorry, I thought... Silva, you all... I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? There are three things all wise men fear: the sea and a storm, a night with no moon, and the anger of a gentle man. So gentle is scary. Scary. That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. I'm so happy. Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. You really did scare me for a moment. If you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed. That makes it official. Welcome to the literature club, and thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem and bring it to the next meeting so we can all share. Monica looks over at me once more. Silva, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. That's kind of menacing, isn't it? Can I really impress the class, star Monica, with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Since we're here already, do you want to walk home together? That's right. Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she always stayed after school for clubs. Sure, may as well. Yay. Oh. That, two of us depart the club room and make our way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in the literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. All right, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances. I'm sure good fortune will find me, and dating one of the girls totally won't ruin the entire balance of the club. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? It's time to write a poem. Pick words you think your favorite club member will like. Something good might happen with whoever likes your poem the most. Okay, so. We're going to save it. Now, why are the girls just like walking around on my thing? It's a little... Okay. So, more or less, I think the first one I actually want to try for, because like last time, now I have to think. So last time I aimed for Yuri, and honestly, I don't really think it mattered that much back then who you went for, because because I don't really think it ever changed the outcome of this story. But if I went for someone now, it might actually change the outcome. And I think I, I think there is actually an achievement for writing a story fully 100% towards each person. So let's see if maybe, let's see. Okay, I'm going to imagine that anything cute and vibrant is Natsuki. Anything dark is Yuri. Pain. Oh, that's a hard one because, like, I know Sayori is, you know, just because just for like spoilers, Sayori is incredibly depressed, and Monica is like, hey Maria. Monica is like kind of just lurking in the background. So oh, they don't tell you. Oh, they don't. Oh no, they don't tell you. Oh no. Okay. So I did promise. Promise, forgive. Promise, forgive. Happiness. Precious. Atone? Oh, she liked atone. Jumpy ribbon existence. Shit. Uncontrollable. Friends. Fireworks. Oh, she likes fireworks. Capable. In dream. Oh, that's a loaded one right there. Analysis. Oh, she likes shit. Papa. I know that's a loaded one for Natsuki. Covet. Shit. Sunny Loud, Peaceful Whistle, Tenacious. Cage. Fuck! Everything I do is shit. Heaven Sent. Entropy. Okay, I might need to unending. Bliss. Golly. Okay, so I'm starting to get marriage? Oh, she wanted marriage. Okay. Well, I don't think anyone actually really 100% liked this because I didn't get the achievement. Okay. I might actually have to look up a tutorial. Oh. Gain the dive head first in literature club. Okay. Sayori told me you didn't even want to join the club this year. And last year too. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. But Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. Don't worry guys, Silva always gives his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with busy work without even asking, like cooking and cleaning my room. How dependable. Sayori, that's because your room is so messy it's distracting. Oh. My room is also messy. I almost set your house on fire once. Okay, I did not set my house on fire. You're really good friends, aren't you? Might be a little jealous. How come? You and Sylvan can become good friends too. Sayori. As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into. Yuri even brought you something today. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. Never mind. Oh, she's so cute. Look at her, she's so cute. Oh, sorry, Sayori, I wasn't thinking. Guess that means it's up to me to rescue the situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place, so any nice gesture of you is a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Yeah, I won't make it a big deal if you don't want it to be. Alright, here. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I don't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it, if you wanted to. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? Even if she picked out a book she thinks I'll like despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Sayori and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intent expression, like she's just waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. Really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more. But at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from her reading. I catch a glimpse of looks like the same book she lent me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me and her eyes meet for a split second. That only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I make her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so that's the book you gave me, right? I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason, just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Well, I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, and that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. There's something fairly obvious that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engageable and relatable story. That's what's it about anyway? Well, Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Alright, I just want to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as she does, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escaped from a human experiment prison. And while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships and her life starts to fall apart. It's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark term came from nowhere. It's the best kind of story. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Sarah? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy these kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot Yuri's into these things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that those kind of stories, they challenge you to look from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals and their own philosophy that they believe in, then suddenly when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be naive for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you, you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange, and please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? You don't have to. Well, what are you saying? Just a moment ago, you were looking forward to it. Just, let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. All right. It's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or something. I open the book and start the prologue. Soon I understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing, maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. I was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I don't mean to. I mean, here. This should work, right? I slide my desk until it's next to Yuri's and hold my book between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean into the other, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. So that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Oh. Oh, she's so cute. I do the same thing with my right arm, on the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page, and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips onto her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. As if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Oh, sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. Glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she's finished the page before me, so I turn out my own volition. We continue to the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second guesses all the things that she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see in your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. I see. Yuri remained silent for a moment, but Silva, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. It's so embarrassing that you think that. Wait, I didn't mean it in a bad way. I really don't know you were all that self-conscious about that sort of thing. Guess I more meant it's kind of cute? What are you saying all of a sudden? Monica's just like, nope! I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought. Is that all right, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. Oh, it's not. It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. All right, I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer if I only read it with you? I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. In that case, I'll read it a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. All right. I stand up, I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, and slip it back into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Yeah, my relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't we find something to share with? I can't wait. Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. I actually used to do ASMR. I've been meaning to get back into it, but haven't really that much. Who would you like to? Well, obviously Monica's. I should start with Monica. Yesterday, she seemed eager to read my poem, and I want her to know I'm putting in effort. I'm doing good, Jose. How are you? Hi, Silva. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? All right. I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow till I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Silva. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll learn to get past soon. That's true. And Monica, my poem. Great job, Silva. I was going, oh, in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect for you to go something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing full of imagery and symbolism? Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness, Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively, both allowing people to get something just out of it by feel, or letting them deeply analyze it for all the nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked, though. I'm sure it's nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased towards their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Anyway, you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, it's not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me. See? The direction the spackle protrudes. A noisy neighbor? An angry boyfriend? I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retinas, already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep, stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in. So what did you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Not really the right person to ask for feedback? Has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. Oh! I know, since I've beaten this game before, I know what this epiphany is. Oh! Guess it's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone feels better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big, dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Sari. This is a good poem, Silva. Are you sure it's your first time? Yeah? Not that good. Am I the kind of guy who would be writing poems in his spare time? I guess you're right, but that's why it impresses me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid that you wouldn't do it seriously. Or that you wouldn't write one at all. I'm really happy you wrote one. This reminds me of how you're really a part of the club now. Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room, or... Well, of course, I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise. It's like I said before, Silva, deep down, you're not selfish at all. Trying new things like this for other people, that's something that only really good people do. Thanks, Sayori. I'm not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. Knowing how much this means to her and all. Yeah, and I'm gonna make sure you have lots of fun here, okay? That will be my way of thanking you. Alright, I'm gonna hold you to that then. Yay! Now, we'll read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. We'll see about that. Dear Sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away the rainy day? I look above. The sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever. But I'm not mad. I want breakfast. Sayori? This is just a guess, but did you wait until this morning to write this? No, just a little bit. You can't answer just a little bit to a yes or no question. I forgot to do it last night, and it makes me feel a bit better about myself, I guess. Don't be mean. Still tried my best. Didn't mean to say it was a bad poem. I'm actually really good. I'm enjoying this game again. Sounds just like you. Really? Yeah. Especially the last line. I made eggs and toast. No, you were late to school. It's bad to skip breakfast. I get all cranky. Well, there's no point in arguing anyway. Thanks for showing me. That was so much fun. Monica's the best. Yeah, but next time I won't forget, and I'm gonna write the best poem ever. Well, I guess I look forward to it. As Yuri reads my poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates that you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? That's a huge compliment coming from you. It's actually my first time. Yuri stares at me blankly and then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I mean, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her fingers along the words of the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers, and having been through that myself, I've kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick up a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form fitting the two together. The end result is that they're both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. Didn't didn't she just say that I had experience by how well I did, and now suddenly she's saying that I'm a newbie. I think she's just trying to save face. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it comes with practice, learned by example, and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny, after all. This isn't supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining street light to have. Oh, the last remaining street light to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. I'm sorry, I have such terrible handwriting. Well, I mean, I did kind of have to reread the word withstand. I wasn't thinking at all. It took so long. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. That's a relief. Also, I liked the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, since this is our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little bit more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Actually, this story isn't about a ghost at all. I must have totally missed the point. Yeah, you did. You did miss the point. Oh, nice. Congratulations, Trap. Well, suppose you only did glance over it, but remember, poems often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences of their own work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. Okay, so perhaps the subject of poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place for comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. It's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing. Yours was impressive, so you could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Silva. Me too. Well, I mean, there's only one left, so. Well, it's about what I expected from someone like you. That's a little blunt. Well, excuse me, it's not like I said it was bad. It just didn't evoke any emotions. So basically, it's not cute enough for your taste. Do you want to get smacked? I'll pass. Well, anyway, continue to show you mine. Not that you'll like it. Not that you'll like it or anything. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can try. But that's about it. Yeah, I told you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff, so people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the poems... Isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening, so I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like, I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling of the last line. So you did. Guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, guess not. I decided to humor her with the last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but Natsuki is feeling proud that I won't take it away from her. Guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. It's a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. It's a literature club, after all. I guess that's why I end up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monica are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. They read in tandem. I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk. I guess you could say it's fancy? Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Yeah, you mean you have to try hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it, and Silva did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon unless, of course, I came across something particularly inspiring. Which I haven't yet. And Silva liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh, I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Oh, God. Oh, God, guys. One sausage gets introduced into the room of tacos, and suddenly all chaos breaks loose. It's just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Silver appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. Yeah, oh yeah, totally. Yuri's a yandere, and Natsuki's a tsundere. And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No, if I was full of myself, I wouldn't deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Hey, there might be children watching, but I mean, they don't know the difference between a taco and a sausage, right? Is everyone okay? Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Silva started showing up. Natsuki. Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you! It's like, oh... I don't like fighting, guys. Suddenly, both girls turned towards me as if they just noticed I was standing there. So, she's trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. She should get over herself and learn to appreciate that simple writing is more effective. Then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. That's the point in making poems all convoluted for no reason. The meaning should jump out at the reader, not force them to have to figure it out. Help me explain that to her. Wait, there's a reason we've had so many deep and expressive words in our language. The only way to convey complex feelings and meanings is most effectively. That is true. There actually was a disclaimer at the very beginning of this game that I didn't stream that basically said that it can be triggering for people with suicidal tendencies or self harm tendencies. Avoiding them is not only unnecessarily limiting yourself, but also a waste. You understand that, right, Silva? How did I get dragged into this? I'd be like, bitches be crazy, I'm out. It's not like I know anything about writing, but whomever I agree with, they'll probably think more highly of me, so of course it's going to be help Sayori. Natsuki glares at me, drying up any words I had in my mouth, so instead I turn to Yuri. Hey Jen! How's it going? Honestly, like, I actually kind of like the idea of shipping Yuri and Natsuki together. I know that ships can become very dangerous when it comes down to like the people behind them really pushing their ships, but I've seen a couple pictures of ships between Yuri and Natsuki, and I actually find it to be really wholesome and cute. Oh, which of the DDLC girls do I like best? So originally Yuri was my favorite. She's probably I can probably relate to Sayori the most, but Yuri's probably was my favorite, but now it's Monica. I can definitely say that Natsuki is my least favorite. But Yuri's expression is so defenseless that I can't bring myself to say anything. Sayori! Huh? Yeah, everyone's fighting is making Sayori uncomfortable. How can the two of you keep fighting like that knowing you're making your friend feel like this? Well, that's her problem. This isn't about her. I agree. It's unfair for others to interject their own feelings into our conflict. Yeah, unless Sayori wants to tell Yuri a stuck up jerk she's being. She would never. It's your immaturity that's made her upset in the first place. Excuse me. Are you listening to yourself? This is exactly why nobody likes. You know what? Good for Sayori. Natsuki, Yuri, you guys are my friends. I just want everyone to get along and be happy. My friends are wonderful people, and I love them because of their differences. Natsuki's poem. Oh, I'm actually a really good actress. I just started tearing up. They're amazing because they give you so many feelings with just a few words. And Yuri's poems are amazing because they paint beautiful pictures in your head. Everyone's so talented. So why are we fighting? Also, Natsuki's cute and there's nothing wrong with that. And Yuri's boobs are the same as they always were. Big and beautiful. Okay, that's actually funny. Sayori stands up triumphantly. Monica stands behind her with a bewildered expression. I'll make some tea. Yuri rushes off. Natsuki sits down with a blank expression on her face, staring at nothing. I've been learning to love myself a little bit more. So this is why Sayori's vice president. To be honest, I might come off as a good leader, and I can organize things, but I'm not very good with people. I couldn't even bring myself to interject. As president, that's kind of embarrassing to me. It's not like I can blame you. I wasn't able to say anything either. Well, I guess that just means Sayori is amazing in her own way, isn't she? You could say that. She might be an airhead, but sometimes it's weirdly suspicious how she knows exactly what she's doing. I see. Take good care of her, okay? I would hate to see her get herself hurt. I don't like that loaded line. That makes two of us. You can count on me. Monica smiles sweetly at me, causing my stomach to knot. Such a genuine person really does make a good president, regardless of what she says. If only I could get the chance to talk to her a little more. Okay, everyone. Just about time for us to leave. Hey, Lion. How's it going? How do you feel? It was a lot of fun. Well, I'd say it was worth it. It was alright. Well, mostly. Yeah, I can imagine that preteens is not easy. I know that I was absolutely hell to my poor mother when I was like 13 through 15. How about you? Yeah, I'd say the same. It's a neat thing to, you know, have that experience. Let's do the same thing tomorrow. Maybe you learn something from your friends too. So your poems will turn out even better. I did learn a little bit more about the kinds of poems everyone likes. With luck, it means I can do at least a better job impressing those I want to impress. Nod to myself with newfound determination. Silva, ready to walk home? Sure, let's go. Sayori beams at me. It truly has been a while since Sayori and I have spent so much time together. I can't really say I'm not enjoying it either. Sayori, about what happened earlier. What do you mean? You know, between Yuri and Natsuki? Does this thing happen often? No. That's really the first time I've ever seen them fight like that. I promise they're both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you? No, I don't hate them. Just wanted your opinion, that's all. I can see why you'd make good friends with you. Ugh. You know, Silva, it's nice that I get to spend time with you in the club. But I think seeing you get along with everyone is what makes me the happiest. I think everyone really likes you too. Every day is going to be so much fun. Looks like Sayori still hasn't caught the kind of situation I'm in. Sure, being friends with everyone is nice, but does it really need to stop there? We'll just have to see what the future holds, Sayori. I pat Sayori on the shoulder. I said that more to myself than to her, but it's easy to use Sayori as an internal monologue sometimes. Let's do this. Alright, so now that we know what kind of stories everyone likes, let's try to make one that appeals to one person specifically. So let's try Sayori, because let's be honest, Sayori is actually a total sweetheart. And she did do a really good job today. So let's see. Simple words to express feelings. Cheer. Giggle. Oh shit. Bliss. Shame. Smile. Cry. Hopeless. Anger. Fuck! Color. Twirl. Shit. Agonite? Nope. Pleasure? Fuck! Hope. Grief. Anxiety? Nope. Aura? No. Excitement. I know she likes marriage. Heart. Fun. Another day passes, and it's time for the club meeting today. Oh, she's so cute. Just still not used to being in the club. It's pretty simple to get in a good mood. Kind of hungry. Would you come with me to buy a snack? No thanks. It's not like you at all. I have my reasons. Why don't we take a look at your purse, Sari? Why is that all of a sudden? No reason really, I just wanted to look at it. Sari nervously retrieves her coin purse. She fumbles with the latch and gets it open. Then she turns it upside down and lets its contents spill onto the desk. Only 2 small coins fell out. Yeah, gee, I wonder. I knew it. I can see right through you, Sayori. That's not fair. How did you even know? It's simple. If you had enough money in the first place, you would have brought the snack before coming to the club room. So either you're not hungry and want an excuse to take a walk, or you planned to conveniently forget that you spent all your money so that I would lend you some. But there's one more thing. You're always hungry. And so, that only leaves one option. Ugh, I give up. Make me feel guilty. If you feel guilty, that means you deserve to feel guilty. Yuri suddenly giggles. I didn't notice she was listening in. Her face is in a book as always. I wasn't listening or anything, I just something in my book. Silva, tell Silva to let me borrow some money. Don't get me involved in that. Besides, you should only buy what you can responsibly afford. And frankly, after pulling a mischievous little stunt like that, your suffering is fair enough retribution. I didn't mean that. Got a little too absorbed in my book. I really like when you speak your mind, Yuri. It doesn't happen much, but it's a fun side of you. There's no way you can think that. You were right, though. I did something bad, and now I have to accept the retribution. That. Still, coming from you, Sayori, I guess there's a little devil inside all of us, isn't there? Don't let her fool you. Sayori knows exactly what she's doing. After all, she told you guys she was bringing me to the club before she even told me. But you wouldn't have come if it weren't for the cupcakes, so I had to trick Natsuki into making them. Come on, give me more credit than that, Sayori. Out of nowhere, something smacks Sayori in the face and tumbles onto the desk. Plap. Kya. A cookie? Sure enough, it's a giant cookie wrapped in plastic. Sayori glances around. Is this a miracle? It's because I paid my retribution. Actually, that one almost worked. I was just going to give it to you, but then I heard you blab about the cupcakes, and it's totally worth seeing your reaction. Natsuki, so nice of you. I'm so happy. Sayori hugs the cookie. Jeez, just eat it. Sayori rapidly tears open the wrapper and takes a bite. It's so good. Sayori suddenly clasps her hands over her mouth. I bit my tongue. Yuri, you're gonna have to go through just one cookie. Natsuki takes a bite of her own cookie. Yours looks really good too, Natsuki. Can I try it? Jeez! Bakers can't be choosers. But yours is chocolate. Yeah, why do you think I gave you that one? Fine. Still, I'm really happy you shared this one. Sayori gets out of her seat and goes behind Natsuki and wraps her arms around her. Jeez. I get it. Cookie still in hand, Natsuki reaches up to nudge Sayori off her. Sayori suddenly leans down and takes a bite out of Natsuki's cookie. Hey! Did you seriously just do that? Mouthful, Sayori trots away to safety. Yuri and I laugh as well. Jeez, you're such a kid sometimes. Monica, can you tell Sayori? Natsuki glances around. Monica isn't in the club room. Where's Monica anyway? Good question. Have you heard anything about her being late today? No? It's a bit unusual. I hope she's okay. Of course she's okay. She probably just had something to do today. She's pretty popular after all. I don't think she has a... I wouldn't be surprised. She probably is more desirable than all of us combined. That's true. Excuse me? Suddenly the door swings open. Sorry, I'm super sorry. I didn't mean to be late. I hope you guys won't wait or anything. Monica chose the club over her boyfriend after all. You're so strong-willed. Boyfriend? What on earth are you talking about? Never mind that. What held you up anyway? Oh, last period today was study hall. To be honest, I kind of lost track of time. That makes no sense, though. You wouldn't have heard the bell ring, at least. I must not have heard it since I was practicing piano. Wasn't aware you played music as well. I don't really. I just kind of started recently. I always wanted to learn piano. That's so cool. Just play something for us. Monica looks at me. Maybe once I get a little better. Yay. That sounds cool. I also look forward to it. If that's so. In that case, I won't let you down, Silva. Monica smiles sweetly. I didn't mean any pressure. Don't worry. I've been practicing a whole lot recently. I really love the chance to share once I'm ready. I see. In that case, best of luck. Thanks. So, did I miss anything? No, not really. Chose to leave out Sayori's mischievous escapade, and I'm sure Natsuki will end up complaining about her anyway. Looks like everyone's already settled down. Sayori somehow already finished her entire cookie. Yuri is back to her book, and Natsuki disappeared into the closet. Looks like no one wants to be bothered today. I slumped down into the nearest desk. How am I supposed to occupy myself with something literature-related by myself like this? I guess I could always read that book Yuri gave me, but I'm feeling a little too tired to read. I'd probably fall asleep right now. I close my eyes and end up listening in on Sayori's conversation with Monica. We're probably going to seem really lame compared to all the other clubs, though. Well, we can't give up. Festivals are our only chance to show everyone what literature's all about. Problem is that the idea of literature club sounds too dense and intellectual, but it's not like that at all, you know? Just need a way of showing that to everyone. Something that speaks to their creative minds? Doesn't solve the problem, though. What do you mean? Even if we come up with the most fun thing ever, nobody will come to our in the first place if it's a literature club event. So it's important to figure out how people show up their first place, you know? And after they come, we can get them to speak on their creative minds. Sayori's taking this really seriously. It's rare for her to deliberate like this. It's a good point. In that case, do you think food will do the trick? Oh, what kind? Well, guess we could. Cupcakes! Oh, good thinking. Natsuki would love to do that. Yeah, you're right. Natsuki makes the best cupcakes. That works out perfectly. That wasn't why you suggested it. Cupcakes speak to my creative tummy. Cupcakes it is, then. I'm hungry. Anyway, we still need to work out the details. I find myself smiling. In the end, Sayori is still her usual self, but therein lies the unexpected reason I admire her. Unlike me, who has trouble finding any motivation at all, Sayori can put her mind to things and make them come to life. I suppose that's why I end up letting her get on my case. I can't help but wonder what it would be like to see the world through her eyes. Open my eyes and find Sayori's face filling my vision. I nearly fall out of my chair. Actually, I'm not sorry at all. It's your fault for sleeping like that. This isn't a napping club. Does our school have a napping club? Dude, I would love to be in a napping club. You're staying up late again, aren't you? Now you're in a club, you're gonna have less time for anime, you know. You'll need to get used to it. Don't say that so loud. Glance over my shoulder to see if Monica overheard. It's true, though. Yeah, I know. You're always looking out for me, Sayori. It's what I do best. That's the problem. Look out for me better than you look out for yourself. You still overslept every day, didn't you? Not every day. It's not very convincing. How many days the past week have you gotten up on time? It's a secret. I knew it. Come on. At least give me the benefit of the doubt. I can't even do that. Look, Sayori, it's written all over you. Sayori glances around at herself. How's it written all over me? You were clearly in a rush this morning. Look at your hair sticking out all around here. Run my fingertips down the side of Sayori's hair, trying to straighten it out. And you really need to brush for this. My hair is just really hard to get right. I won't fall for that. There's more than just your hair. Look, your bow isn't even straight either. And there's a toothpaste stain on your collar right there. Try to wipe off the stain with my finger. But no one would ever notice that. Of course they would. Nobody's going to tell you about it because they don't want to embarrass you. Fortunately, I really don't care about that. You don't even keep your blazer buttoned up. Seriously, Sayori, why do you think you don't have a boyfriend yet? Oh, that's so mean. That is super mean. Sorry, but you'll thank me later. I start to button her blazer from the bottom. Once you see how much better it looks, you'll change your mind. Oh, this is so funny. What is? Well, just thinking how weird it is to have a friend who does these kind of things. Don't say that. You make me feel weird about it. Stupid. It's okay, though. I'm happy we're like this. I like how they draw eyes. I guess so. Hey, be careful. Button might come off. Why is this one so hard to close? I struggle to fully close the button near her chest. Does this thing fit you properly? It did when I bought it. You ever buttoned it, you would have noticed sooner that it doesn't fit you anymore. Means my boobs got bigger again. Don't say that out loud. Anyway, you look much better now. Why does it feel strange to see Sayori's blazer buttoned up like that? But it's so stuffy. It's not worth it at all. Oh no, it is me. Sayori hastily unbuttons her blazer once more. So much better. Sayori puts her arms out and twirls around. So if I keep it unbuttoned, then I won't get a boyfriend, right? What kind of logic is that? Why are you saying that like it's a good thing? Because if I had a boyfriend, then he wouldn't even let you do things like that. And you take care of me better than anyone else would anyway. So that's why I'm keeping it unbuttoned. Stop saying all these embarrassing things. I didn't say anything embarrassing, jeez. Well, anyway, just focus on trying to wake up earlier. Only if you focus on going to bed earlier. Fine, it's a deal. It's really are better at taking care of each other than we are at taking care of ourselves. I guess so. So maybe you should come wake me up in the morning. You're doing it again, Sayori. Oh, but I was joking that time. It's impossible to tell with you sometimes. Okay, everyone. I love how Monica just slides out of nowhere and she's like, all right, time's up. Why don't we share the poems? Yay, Silva, I can't wait to read yours. I fail to sound enthusiastic, but Sayori still trots away to retrieve her poem. I think I'm actually going to call it here after this poem, so... I'm happy you're applying yourself. Maybe soon you'll come up with a masterpiece. I give my poem to Monica. I like this one. It makes me think of something Sayori would like. Is that so? You and Sayori are really good friends, right? I wouldn't be surprised if you had those sorts of things in common. We may be good friends, but Sayori and actually really different. Well, that may be the case, but maybe there's also some similarities you wouldn't expect. The way she talks about you. It sounds like you two, or like the two of yourself, really care about each other's well-being. Even if you show it in different ways, it ends up being more similar than you think. So I think that's the kind of vibe I get when reading your poem. You sure you're not reading into this too much? I could be. Oh gosh, I sound like Yuri. But in any case, Sayori's writing has a kind of gentle feel to it. I can tell that she likes exploring with emotion, like happiness and sadness. Who knew that someone so happy would enjoy sad things too? No, that's totally unexpected. Well, to each their own. And you shouldn't be afraid to experiment a little bit either. But anyway, you want to read my poem? I like the way this one turned out, and I hope you do too. Save me. Oh. Save me. The colors, they won't stop. Bright, beautiful colors. Flashing, expanding, piercing. Red, green, blue. An endless cacophony of meaningless noise. The noise, it won't stop. Violent, grating waveforms. Squeaking, screeching, piercing, sine, cosine, tangent, like playing a chalkboard on a turntable, like playing a vinyl on a pizza crust, and endless poem of meaningless. Load me. This really does have a lot of foreshadowing. Even more abstract than your last one. I guess it's just the way I write. Sorry if you don't like it. Never said I didn't like it. I like playing with my space on the paper, choosing where and how space your words so you can totally change the mood of the poems. It's almost like magic. The way I wrote the lines really short makes it feel like they're trying to speak over the noise. See. It's still hard for me to tell what it's about though. Sometimes asking what a poem about isn't the right question. A poem can be abstract in its physical expression of a feeling, or a conversation to the reader. So putting it that way, not every poem is about something. Anyway, Here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes you'll find yourself facing a difficult decision. When that happens, don't forget to save your game. You never know when you might change your mind, or when something unexpected may happen. Wait, is this tip even about writing? What am I even talking about? That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Yeah, that's not foreshadowing. How's it going, Baked Potato? Oh my goodness, this is so good. I love it, especially after yesterday's poem. You're too honest. No, but really, I want to put this on my wall. Can I? Sorry. Stay seriously overreacting. I'm not a good writer at all. So I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, maybe that's why. Because I have no idea what I like either. I'm sure Yuri's opinion will be a little more constructive than this. Maybe even Natsuki. You don't like it just because I wrote it? Well, I'm sure that's part of it. Think I understand you better, a lot of other people, you know? So when I read your poem, it's not just a poem, it's a Silva poem. That makes me feel extra special. Like I can feel your feelings in it. Sayori hugs the sheet against her chest. You're so weird, Sayori. Well, I'm not very good at figuring out if poems are good or bad, but that's why I just go with my heart. If it makes me feel things, then it must be a good poem. Not sure that's exactly how it works, but then again, I guess conveying feelings is a pretty important part of the whole thing, so... Honestly, I don't even know what kind of writing you like in the first place. Me neither. Why don't you at least try to give it some thought? You want to write something for me? That's so sweet. You're always thinking about other people. You think about yourself once in a while. If you don't, you might end up getting hurt at some point. Well, I don't really know what you mean, but I'll try to keep that in mind. Anyway, let's see. Guess I'll like happy poems. Wait, sometimes I like sad poems too. Sometimes a bit of both? There's a word for that, right? Bittersweet, yes. I like things that are happy and things that are sad. Happy and sad. Can't see you liking something sad, Sayori. Well, I like happy the most, but sometimes when you have a little rain cloud on your head, a sad poem will give you that rain cloud a little hug. Nice happy rainbow. Sayori, that's unexpectedly poetic. Maybe I'm getting better at expressing my feelings after all. Thanks, Silva. I should write that down then. You can read my poem now, okay? Bottles. I pop off my scalp like the lid of a cookie jar. It's the secret place where I keep all my dreams. Little balls of sunshine, all rubbing together like bundles of kittens. I reach inside with my thumb and forefinger and pluck one out. It's warm and tingly, but there's no time to waste. I put it in a bottle to keep it safe, and I put the bottle on a shelf with all the other bottles. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts in bottles, all in a row. My collection makes me lots of friends, each bottle a starlight to make amends. Sometimes my friends feel a certain way. Down comes a bottle to save the day. Night after night, more dreams. Friend after friend, more bottles. Deeper and deeper my fingers go, like exploring a dark cave, discovering the secret hiding in the nooks and crannies, digging and digging, scraping and scraping. I blow dust off my bottle caps. It doesn't feel like time elapsed. My empty shelf could use some more. My friends look through my locked front door. Finally, all done. I open up, and in come my friends. In they come, in such a hurry. Do they want my bottles that much? I frantically pull them from the shelf one after another, holding them out to each and every friend, each and every bottle. But every time I let one go, it shatters against the tile between my feet. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts in shards all over the floor. They were supposed to be for my friends who aren't smiling. They're all shouting, pleading, something. But all I hear is echo, 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 echo inside my head. Holy crap. Sayori, did you really write this? Didn't expect something like this. Really in touch with my feelings recently. I can see that. It's almost kind of creepy. Well, not exactly. Maybe because I'm used to being so cheerful. Well, never mind. Point is, it came out good, so you should be proud of it. feel like it was meant to express something that way. Even helps me understand my own feelings a little bit better. Writing is like magic. You've gotten pretty passionate about that, huh? I hope you keep it up. Writing is the best. I'm gonna keep writing until I die. Well, don't get ahead of yourself. I wonder if this is one of those times. Seeing the passion in her eyes makes it hard for me to be pessimistic. Okay, 2 more and then we're gonna be done for the day. My throat's getting a little sore. Let's see what you're written for today. It's pretty good. You were influenced by seeing everyone's writing styles yesterday. I was also a bit surprised at how differently everyone writes, so I respect you for trying new things. You don't need to be afraid to be a little bit more daring. Metaphors can go a long way. Don't feel like you need to work your brain like turning a bunch of gears. Try letting your mind wander through your feelings and write down the things you see and hear. It's one way to truly enable your reader to see your mind. It's a very intimate exercise. It's a really interesting technique. Example, if you'd like to read it. This poem you wrote for today? The raccoon. It happened in the dead of night while I was slicing bread for a guilty snack. My attention was caught by the scuttering of a raccoon outside my window. That was, I believe, the first time I noticed my strange tendencies as an unordinary human. I gave the raccoon a piece of bread, my subconscious well aware of the consequences, well aware that a raccoon that is fed will always come back for more. The enticing beauty of my cutting knife was the symptom, the bread, my hungry curiosity, the raccoon, an urge. The moon increments its phase and reflects that much more light off my cutting knife. The very same light that glistens in the eyes of my raccoon friend. I slice the bread, fresh and soft. The raccoon becomes excited. Or perhaps I'm merely projecting my emotions onto the newly satisfied animal. The raccoon has taken to following me. You could say that we've gotten quite used to each other. The raccoon becomes hungry more and more frequently, so my bread is always handy. Every time I brandish my cutting knife, the raccoon shows me its excitement. A rush of blood. Classic Pavlovian conditioning. I slice the bread, and I feel myself again, or feed myself again. So this obviously is talking about her, that's obviously talking about her knife asphyxiation. It's a little more daring with this one. I can see that. It's a lot more metaphorical. But I can't begin to imagine what this poem is about. It's a bit closer to my preferred writing style, using the poem as a canvas to express vivid imagery and conveying emotions through them. Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting how, like, at the beginning when you see this game, and you're like, oh, it's just a game about, like, 4 adorable girls that you can date. And then it's like, no, spoiler warning. It's about one that's incredibly depressed, one that has a yandere knife fixation and a cutting obsession, one that is probably being emotionally, if not physically, abused by her father, and one that is basically willing to kill just about everything to keep you. Yeah, I take it at face value. Well, I think it's something that different people can relate to in their own way. I wanted to express the way it feels for me to indulge in my more unusual hobbies. It's those sort of things I'm usually forced to keep to myself, so sometimes I enjoy writing about them. Why do you keep them to yourself? Because they're embarrassing and people would make fun of me. Don't you have anything like that? Well, yeah, I guess I do. I feel like everyone has a little something like that. Best way we can do is respect each other and our individualities. Even if it's difficult sometimes, and some things make us uncomfortable. After all, if I hadn't learned to embrace my own weirdness, I would probably hate myself. I might be ranting a little bit, but I'm glad to know you're a good listener. Well, it's not really any worse than your last one, but I can't really say it's any better either. Well, anything that isn't a train wreck is still a win. I guess I get the feeling you're probably the most critical. Maybe That was a compliment. I'm glad to see someone recognizes my experience. Keep practicing and maybe you'll be as good as me someday. Something tells me Natsuki has completely missed the point. Come to think of it, it kind of reminds me of Sayori's poem from yesterday. Yeah, well, guess if you've been friends with her for so long, you might be on the same wavelength. But you never really struck me as her type. Sayori has a type? Well, I don't know, but honestly, can someone so fluffy spend so much time with you? It's like she's dragging around a dead weight. That was a little unnecessary, but think of it this way. If it weren't for me, she would probably just fly away like letting go of a balloon. You could say that we each take care of each other in our own way. Ugh, whatever it is, I don't get it. Oh, I'm supposed to show you my poem. Here. Amy likes spiders. You know what I heard about Amy? Amy likes spiders. Icky, wriggly, hairy, ugly spiders. That's why I'm not friends with her. Amy has a cute singing voice. I heard her singing my favorite love song. Every time she sang the chorus, my heart would pound to the rhythm of the words. But she likes spiders. That's why I'm not friends with her. One time, I hurt my leg really bad. Amy helped me up and took me to the nurse. I tried not to let her touch me. She likes spiders, so her hands are probably gross. That's why I'm not friends with her. Amy has a lot of friends. I always see her talking to people. She probably talks about spiders. What if her friends start to like spiders too? That's why I'm not friends with her. It doesn't matter if she has other hobbies. It doesn't matter if she keeps it private. It doesn't matter if it doesn't hurt anyone. It's gross. She's gross. The world is better off without spider lovers. And I'm gonna tell everyone. Not bad, right? It's quite a bit longer. Yesterday's was too short. Anyway, message is pretty straightforward. Sometimes you can explain complicated issues with much simpler analogies. Realize how stupid they're being. Like anyone agree that the subject of the poem is an ignorant jerk. Do you know people like that? Of course. It's about how everyone thinks doesn't matter. It can be about anything. I wrote it to be easy to relate to. Everyone has some kind of weird hobby or guilty pleasure. Something that you're afraid if people find out they'll make fun of you or think less of you. But that just makes people stupid. Who cares what someone likes as long as they're not hurting anyone and it makes them happy? I think people really need to learn to respect others for, liking weird things. Yuri wrote something similar today. Did you say Yuri? Yeah. She said her poem was about an unusual hobby of hers. Really didn't get it, but she said something similar to you. People shouldn't make each other feel insecure about those things. Really? Well, Yuri's pretty weird, so I wouldn't doubt that she has some weird hobbies. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's not like I would judge her or anything. Guess I should try not to be so mean to her. She feels insecure about her weird behaviors and stuff. I know that there was like a fan theory that Natsuki was actually a boy in cross-dressing, but I don't think that was ever like actually confirmed. I think that was just a fan theory. But I know that she does have issues at home with her dad. Yuri made me feel insecure yesterday, but the way you put it sounded like she's learning her lesson. So, even if her writing style is really different, I'm sure she'll appreciate the message in your poem. Writing, unless it's a good message, take away from it. Like, conveying emotions is important, but I want to make people think and not just feel. Remember that. I'm going to write a good one for tomorrow. Okay, everyone, we're all done reading. I have something extra planned today, so if you can come front. Aww. Well, sort of. I have something for the festival. It's not like we can put together anything good in just a few days. Well, it's just embarrassing ourselves and getting any new members. It's a concern of mine. Really don't want to do any last-minute preparations. Keeping it simple. Sari's been working on posters, and I've designed a few pamphlets. It doesn't tell us what we're actually going to be doing for the event. We're going to be performing. Performing? No. Gonna have a poetry performance. Each of us are going to choose a poem. The cool part is we're going to let anyone else come up and recite poems too? Yeah, yeah, that's not gonna work. Sari, who's been coloring posters, holds it up. Are you kidding me? Didn't I already start putting those posters up? Well, do you think that's a bad idea? But I didn't sign up for this. There's no way I'm going to be performing in front of a group. I could never in my life do something like that. Guys, I understand that they're coming from. Remember that Natsuki and Yuri have never shared poems with anyone until just a couple days ago. It's a lot to ask for them to recite poems out loud in front of a whole room of people. I guess I overlooked that. I think we should give it our best. We're the only ones responsible for the fate of this club. If we start the event and put on a good performance, then we will inspire others to do the same. The more people who perform, the better we'll be able to show everyone what literature is all about. It should be about expressing your feelings, being intimate with yourself, finding new horizons, and having fun. Those reasons we're all in this club today. Don't you want to share that with others to inspire them? Feelings brought you here in the first place. I know you do. I know we all do. And if that's what it takes standing in front of a room for 2 minutes and reciting a poem, then I know you can do it. Natsuki and Yuri remain silent. Sayori looks worried. Caselli, I agree. I don't think it's too much to ask. I don't think that Sayori and Monica have ever really been hard to get new members. Least we can do is help them out a little bit. It looks like Natsuki doesn't have any argument left. Fine. Guess I'll have to go get it over with. Thanks, Natsuki. What about you, Yuri? Yuri dejectedly glances around at everyone else's expected faces. I guess I really don't have a choice. You're the best, Yuri. This club is seriously going to be the death of me. Ominous. You'll be fine. But anyway, let's move on to the main event. I want each of you to choose a poem of yours. We're going to practice reciting them in front of each other. It's too sudden. Well, you can't recite your poem in the front of the club. Use. Monica flips through a note. Okay, I'll be honest. This is going on for a while, and my throat is really hurting right now. So I have to go. I need to drink some hot tea or something and let my throat rest. So either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I will see you guys on the next episode. And I love you, darlings. Bye.